Hello friends, welcome to my channel, a channel for learning simple coding. If you find this video to be helpful, please like, share and subscribe my channel. In this video, we are going to learn the most important concept of object-oriented programming is called composition. Composition is equivalent to inheritance also. In case of inheritance, we extend a class, we create subclass. But in case of composition, we directly create an object of a class and use within another class. Similar concept we are going to implement here. We made this counter component. This counter component I want to compose or I want to reuse again and again in another component. So when we use component within a component, this concept is called composition. So here we are taking an example of compositioning of component. So how we can do compositioning of component, that we understand in this example. So you see that I create a one more component here and I give it name home counter .jsx. Home counter, remember that I'm going to create multiple counter here, that's why I'm calling it home counter. Now here I'm using imrc import the snippets, the plugin which I installed earlier in my video. Then I import a class, so I say cc and tab, so I have a class also. So this is because of the snippets extension which I used, simple react snippets. You can install this also if you want. Now what I do, I just create a name of this, I say home counter. Similar way also I give here home counter like this. Now under this function I want to use a div tag. Under this div I use counter tag like this. So counter is imported here and I want to use this counter 4 times. So 2, 3 and 4. This is called compositioning. I'm using a counter component within a component home counter. This is called compositioning. Now we have to add this in index.js. So in place of counter I will use here home counter and I replace here with home counter like this, and here I use home counter and I save it. If I run it, you will see that 4 counters are coming here, but they are not coming in a proper manner. Why? Because in counter making, when I make this component, I add this inside a React fragments. So that is the problem. So I press Ctrl D and I change it to div tag. You see. So I change it to div tag and I save it, and you will see that automatically all these components has come one by one, top to bottom format. Okay, so I added here div. Now we go to home counter. Here we are using the compositioning, but it's look odd. I want to use you can say the list rendering for this, and I want to give the unique identification to this component, this counter component, because now all 4 are working properly without any problem. You see all are doing a separate work, but I want to control this from this home counter component. For that I create here a counters array. Here in this array I create an object, I say id1 and I say count value to 0 of all like this, and this is the value initialization. Now I copy this and 4 times I paste it like this, and I change the id to 2, 3 and 4, save it Now what I do, in place of this I use the list rendering, that is this dot state dot counters dot map. Here I use counter, then arrow function. Inside this arrow function I use counter tag here like this. So I close it here, not here, and here I pass a key to this, like this dot state dot not that, this would be counter dot id. This counter value I am passing here and I save it. You see that this counter value as a id I am passing here, and it will display 4 times. The same result I will have, you see, I will have a same result but by using a list rendering. So we did this, very good, we render this. Now I want to pass a initial value from this counter. So I say here count equal to counter dot count, this value I want to initialize here. So I save it and I go to this counter, and here I enable once again the property. Here I was initializing this, so I just close this, comment it. I have to enable this property. So this count property I am passing from property from this home counter component to the count property. You see that here in counter we are using this, and home counter we pass the count. So now we have the same, no problem at all. But if I change this value to something else like this, you see that will reflect here, you see it reflecting here. So by this component, home counter component, we are initializing a value to these counters which we are using here, these counters we are using. So with this example we understand that how we can use a component within a component. It's called compositioning or composition concept. Now we also learn how we can pass the properties and value from this home counter to this counter, and how we can initialize it by using a property, destructuring of this property, and we control this component, you see. So that's all in compositioning of components in React. I think you learn something in this video. If you learn something, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching this video.